नमस्कार, मैं सुखदेव अध्यक्ष आज आप सबको दीपोत्सव के शुभ अवसर पर शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ।
Namaskar, good morning. My name is Sukhdev. I'm the president of the Artisans Association of Javaja, and on the occasion of Diwali, I welcome you all.
मेरा नाम रामलाल है और आर्टिजन लाइन जवाजा लेबर क्लब का सदस्य हूँ और बिहार खास कर रहा हूँ।
My name is Ramlal. I work in the Javaja Leather Group of the Artisans Alliance of Javaja, and I'm a resident of Biawar Khas. Good morning.
मैं गोपी हूँ और जवाजा लेबर आर्टिजन लाइन जवाजा अध्ययन में काम करते हैं।
Namaskar. My name is Gopi Lal. I work in the Javaja Leather Group, and I'm a weaver. Sorry, I made a mistake there. Gopi Lal is a weaver, not leather worker.
मेरा नाम अकार लाल है। मैं आर्टिजन लाइन जवाजा व्यूअर्स ग्रुप में काम करता हूँ और बिहार खास का रहने वाला हूँ।
My name is Omkar Lal. I'm a member of the Artisans Alliance Javaja, and I live in Biawar Khas. I'm a weaver as well.
मेरा नाम पारस मोहन है। मैं जवाजा लेदर एसोसिएशन में काम करता हूँ। आर्टिजन अलायंस जवाजा।
My name is Paras Lal. I'm a member of the Artisans Alliance of Javaja, and I live in Biawar Khas.
मेरा नाम हरलाल है। मैं आर्टिजन लाइन जवाजा बिहार में काम करता हूँ। मैं शरगाम का रहने वाला हूँ।
My name is Har Lal. I work in the Artisans Alliance Javaja, and I live in Biawar.
सभी को सुबह की नमस्कार। मेरा नाम बाबूलाल है। आर्टिजन लाइन जवाजा का सचिव हूँ। सरगाम का निवासी हूँ और लेदर का काम करता हूँ।
Namaskar. My name is Babulal. I'm a member of the Artisans Alliance Javaja, and I live in Sargaon. Ashok Chatterjee.
Good morning, and thank you all for coming and for giving us this opportunity to be with you once again. It's a great privilege to be part of this fraternity of those who believe in crafts and work for artisans the world over. Last week, those of you who attended the session that I was privileged to participate in will have remembered that we tried to position the present position of crafts in our country. We did a quick run through the centuries of tradition that lie behind craft activity in India today and the central role of hand production and crafts in India's struggle for freedom against colonial rule. In this, there were two dominant personalities who influenced what India thought and did about crafts, Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore. And much of what you will hear today is in fact their legacy, but a legacy which is in crisis, and we'll explore the reasons why. When India became independent in 1947, it was the first developing country to position crafts within national planning, and there have been considerable achievements. Achievements in production, in export, in recognition, in awareness. Crafts is the second largest employer after agriculture in India. And remember, we're a nation of 1 billion people, most of whom live in villages and are engaged in agriculture. That gives you some idea of the scale of this activity which the Artisans Alliance of Javaja represent and the significance of what they're doing in a national context. However, that scale is also an indication of the crisis. Because although crafts is the largest employer after agriculture, nobody knows quite how many of India's over 1 million citizens are involved. Estimates range from 600 million from 6 million to 200 million. And 200 million is probably an underestimate. The crisis today is occasioned by several things. Perhaps the most important crisis is the crisis of inadequate marketing skills within a market which is stringently competitive and changing at such a rapid pace, both in India and overseas. With this enormous change that is taking place in the world economy, an attitude is developing in India that crafts represent an old-fashioned, irrelevant activity, not in keeping with India's thrust towards modernity. Perhaps this is the nub of the crisis. How does one answer this? These millions of artisans are dispersed all over the country. They lack political clout. There's no space where they can bang on the table and be heard. Activists are trying, but we have been inadequate to the crisis so far, and that's something that we hope to explore with you. In a sense, the artisans of Javaja reflect both the opportunity which Indian crafts have today, which is unparalleled, as well as the crisis. In a sense also, they represent the legacy of Gandhiji. Gandhi believed that true freedom depended on self-reliance, and that self-reliance was dependent on systems of production and sustainable livelihoods that were decentralized and that were rooted in India's village environment. So in a sense, the story of the Artists' Alliance of Javaja is a reflection both of what we have achieved in India and what we have failed to achieve, both of the opportunity as well as of the crisis. So over to the Artisans' Alliance of Javaja.